Brady from Celtics Film Room again, and we're going to be breaking down Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals between Celtics and Sixers. And then after, I will be doing, I'm going to decide whether or not if I'm going to go in video or after, but I will be doing a Celtics Heat preview as well, either right after this or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But I will be doing a Celtics Heat preview as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. I was actually at. I attended this game. Personally, it was electric. It was absolutely electric. They played the JV. Calling out the fans before the game, and I think they put that on like a few minutes before tip, and then they put the pregame hype video, and then the tip. The tip-off happened. It was just electric, absolutely electric the whole game. It was that one it's like two stretches where it was quiet. The one where PJ Tucker hit threes, and then the small run they went on in that early second quarter, and that was the only quiet-ish moments. It was loud otherwise for about 42 out of 48 minutes. It was loud. So the crowd definitely played a factor. We saw the role players in this game. They were not the same role players. That they were at different parts of the series. D'Anthony Melton, Tobias Harris, Maxey. I call him more of an elite role player, but even Harden was tight too. The stars, everybody was tight. They played tight in that second half, and it showed. And that's where they really took this game by the horns. But it started. Initially in this game, the Celtics didn't play tight, but they played very over the top, energetic, not making the right rim reads, getting sucked too deep in, and just playing too fast. They were playing too fast offensively and defensively, jumping all over the place, and they started to settle in. But immediately off the I didn't do a game 6, I didn't do a game 5 or a game 6. Game 5, there was like nothing for me to break down there. It was just bad stuff. In game 6, I thought about it, but I was too tired, too busy. And yeah, so did I even do a game 4? I think I did. No, did I? Or what was it? Some of those or was it game 6? It was game 6. I was going to do game 6. I was too busy. But one thing I liked about game 6 is what I talked about a little bit was their on-ball screens they did. But it's not how it's how they got to those on-ball screens in game 6. At the end, when Tatum was hitting threes, they were using a lot of Jalen and Jason off-ball screens to set up to get the matchup they wanted. And then, they would run high screen, and Jason would pick and pop. And from that point on, he could go one-on-one with the guy he wanted to. So that was a really good late-game adjustment from Joe Mazzulla. The other adjustment he made in that game 6, which carried over to game 7, was starting Robert Williams in the starting lineup. What that allowed, what that allowed to happen is it created. First of all, it created a new element of vertical spacing, which we're going to see right away on this first play. And then what it also did was it allowed defensively for that James Harden pick and roll to be really taken away, more significantly. And we'll go a little bit more into depth in Game 7. It made James Harden much more passive than he wanted to be. Well, he still could have been more aggressive, but it forced him to be more passive, and also forced Joel to be a little less aggressive going at the rim as well, with Al Horford guarding him and Robert Williams roaming. But we'll get into that. So right away off the bat, Um, you can see here, they didn't play great in the beginning, like I said. They were a little over energetic. The crowd was again electric, but right away you can see here, Joel knows has to guard Robert Williams, and and then I guess Joel's easing his way. Not really in a great spot athletically. He's kind of pretty tall. So when you're tall, it's going to be harder to move laterally faster. That probably means you're not engaged, which is weird for a first possession. But I guess makes sense, but right away you can see he's attached to Robert Williams. I can't tell if it's more of a want to was too late, or I'm too worried about Robert Williams, because he does make Robert Williams a priority here to try to box him out or prevent the lob. Either way, Robert Williams is part of this play and part of the reason why Jalen can get an open lane to the basket and get an easy shot for 2 points here. Just simple stuff like that right away. Stuff that opens up driving lanes. And again, throughout this game, what I really loved, and we'll get into why I thought Marcus Smart was, you could argue, the second or third best Celtic in this game, and didn't really stuff the stat sheet here. But right away, again, Robert Williams pick and roll here. Um, what they're doing is Joel Embiid was guarding Robert Williams. So what they did right away is they said they said, Joel Embiid, come here, Joel. This is who we're going after today. And it was Jason Tatum, who was the main guy with the ball, going after Joel Embiid. And it started from the beginning, and from the first play that Tatum scored, it set the tone right away. And look what happens now when Joel Embiid's on the perimeter, and then you beat him off the perimeter, especially with pace and space. I mean, wide open middle of the floor, wide open middle of the floor here, and then PJ like kind of helping. It opens up a wide open Al Horford too, and obviously you're not going to pass that when you get a wide open dunk here. And so just great, it was a great strategy from Joe Mazzulla. That was another an adjustment, whether or not it was him himself, coaching staff, whoever came together, game planned it. They clearly made it a game plan to attack Joel Embiid on the perimeter, and They used it against him significantly. And now, here's another element here. Al Horford. Simple stuff here. Al Horford, Joel, again, look how tall he is. Look how tall Joel is. Super unathletic, a little nonchalant, not super focused. Al Horford makes a back cut here. Robert Williams, Roman gets the dunker spot, and then boom, takes off. Yams it on Embiid there. Robert Williams was not afraid of Joel Embiid. He got blocked, I think, 1 or 2 times in this game trying to go at Embiid, but he also finished like 2 or 3 times over Embiid. So Robert Williams was super aggressive in this game, and that worked out as well. Here, notice there's another good look. I mean, right away too, right? They put Joel Embiid in the pick and roll all day long. Jason gets it. Jason missed some easy ones too in this. I mean, he missed like 3 or 4 easy shots at least, maybe 4 or 5 that he could have easily had. He could have had 60. He missed some really easy looks. Like right here, easy. Joel's there, but I mean, it's an easy floater. Notice Robert Williams effect again. Robert Williams just dunked it the previous possession. So now Embiid's thinking this is a lob when Jason floats this up there, and it's a good look, it's a good shot, and here just bad transition defense. Jalen's supposed to be getting back, doesn't, and that's the cost of that possession. But again, you can see the idea that the Celtics were trying to do here. It was stick Joel Embiid and pick and roll and kill him for it. Make him pay. And then where the momentum really changed was right around that flagrant foul. And it wasn't because they called a flagrant foul. It wasn't because of that. The momentum just happened to shift right there. The Celtics were going to take this game anyway. For anybody that thinks it was because of a flagrant foul call, could not be farther off. It was not because of a call is what defined this game, especially in a game where the Celtics were up as much as 30 points. It was not one flagrant foul call. The momentum just happened to shift here. So at this point, Jalen gets the crowd going a little bit. I think I think he like clapped a little bit, and then you could see like Wick get up, and then like and he was egging on the fans, and it just erupted. I'm telling you, it freaking erupted in there, and then boom, simple as that. Pull old play out of the playbook last year. They ran with Ime Udoka. They run simple, a little. It looks like a variation of Spain. I'm not sure. I don't know the exact name of this play call, but it looks like a variation of Spain here. I don't know the exact play call. I'll have to look, but you can see here the Robert Williams effect. Right, go right away, go quickly into the shot clock. You force switches, you force defensive miscommunications, put a lot of pressure. Jason makes the right rim read, boom, throws it up to Rob. You get the vertical spacing threat there. Something they didn't take advantage of when Rob was on the court. And that was one thing I was thinking about. Rob in the starting lineup, you're just thinking about him more. Versus when you first get into the game, you get into the flow, you get comfortable with Derek, the 5-out spacing. Instead of when Robert Williams is on the floor, you get comfortable with him on the floor and understanding the vertical spacing threat you have there. So that's one, and you become more hyper aware of the fact you have Rob on the floor and you can make that lob threat. And then boom, defense to offense here. Crowd is loud. You force bad pass from Maxi, or a bad decision, I would say rather. And then boom, fast break, game changed. They didn't look back from here. Just really, really good stuff. The crowd would have erupted right there had he made that, and that should have been an and one. I thought of all the continuation stuff they called, but they just generated a lot of the looks they wanted to in this game. They generated a lot of the looks they wanted to. And here they went back and forth for a little bit in that second quarter, and then Jason towards the end of that second quarter really did a great job. Just got the play right. I think so. Yeah. Right. Philly responds. I think they go up by 3, and then Philly goes on a 7-2 run, and boom, Jason just picking apart right away. Look at the pace. Already getting down the court. 22 on the shot clock, make or miss. They did a great job of pushing pace today, and we'll have some examples with that with Marcus Smart. But boom, look at that just quickly. The benefit, you don't have to actually set a screen to actually effectively run pick and roll. Notice how Rob slips out right away, and look at the pressure it puts on Joel here. Rob quickly gets out of the screen and roll, forces Joel, to make decisions and react. Jason has got a beat on Melton. You can see here he's just about to beat Melton as he beat him to his right. So now Joel's going to sit back and help on Robert Williams. So it opens up a bit. If I were Marcus here, honestly, probably would have cut here as Rob dived down, so it could have opened up an open 3 threat. Maybe he's about to. We'll see. But he beats him off the dribble, and then boom, pulls it back, hits him with the jump shot. Just good offense. He was on, from the start. You could see him before the game. He was he talked about being relaxed. He was super relaxed when the crowd got loud. I saw him. That was the first time I ever seen him stretching. I think Tatum was getting going, before the game, and he was getting, he was getting the crowd, loud. He was getting them loud before the game, and they would put the jumbotron on him, and he was, waving them on before the game, and then when they erupted, you could see him just bouncing around, kind of loose, relaxed, and you could tell just from as soon as he had that dunk and then that mid-range shot. That mid-range shot he hit on the baseline. It was like, yeah, yeah, he's definitely he's definitely engaged tonight, or I guess today. It was 3:30 game, and then boom again. Notice right setting screen to roll the hunt mismatches. So now they're gonna do it. They're gonna do. Joel's gonna do an off-ball switch here with Maxi, so now they can get Maxi is gonna get. So here, what the Celtics do a good job is they put Maxi on Marcus, and they put Joel on Robert Williams. So the beauty of this is now you're putting the two defenders the Celtics want to put in the action with D'Anthony Mellon. So you have a guard, and Joel's in the action. Exactly who they want to put in the action. So now it's mouse in the house, go to work, bang. And I was like, if he just boom, if he gets like two more buckets here, and one of them is like a three, I mean, he would. The house is on fire. The house is on fire. And then simple. Tatum's got 22 now. They decided to jump. Don't think they didn't. That Doc didn't try to mix it up. They threw a double. They doubled Tatum right out of this. Tatum makes the right read right away. Rob Williams vertical spacing threat. Joel has to stick home. Marcus gets a wide open floater in the lane. 2 points. 2 points. Unstoppable, a lot of this was. And then now they put Joel in the action again. Joel decides he is just going to let Tobias recover. A beautiful in and out here to get Tobias. I mean, look at Tobias back up here. In and out, gets him to back up, creates so much freaking space, opens us, and just floodgates opened up from there. Crowd erupted. Bang. And listen, these are some of these threes he had to hit were more of those. Tatum contested. Can make every single one of those, but just hasn't had a high efficiency over the past few years on a lot of these shots given. He's taken more of them, and defenses are game planning for him at a much higher level than they used to. It takes more work to get the shots you want now, and he was willing to work for every single shot he got that night, or I guess that day again. Let's take a little go back here, and then we'll go to the second half. That's where we'll go. Boom, boom. All right. Got it. Well, this was a big shot. Tobias Harris hits a three right out of the gate. And this could have gone either. Philly gets they get a stop, they get a score. It could have been huge. Marcus just hits a tough shot. They didn't have a great possession. Marcus hits a tough shot, and it gets the momentum, gets the crowd back into it, engaged, and they ended up getting a stop. And boom, Jalen ends up getting a decent look off, not a great look, but they had a couple of not great possessions early on. I think the Sixers had some dumb turnovers to start, or dumb horrible possessions to start off the half, and that's really on them. To get in their stuff. It took the Celtics a couple minutes to really ease in here, and then they get the switch again. They get run high screen or roll, even though it's 8 on the shot clock, which isn't preferable. They get the high screen or roll again, and they have to switch it. Tatum does a really good job of fading right away to a spot, and notice how he's going to get the ball in a spot where Embiid's coming out to him, and Jason's going to make a quick decision. Here, it's going to hold, I guess, for a second, but he makes a relatively quick decision, not holding it for 3-4 seconds before going with the ball, holds it for a second, and then beats him right away off the dribble. And now every time you get beat on the perimeter and you beat him off the dribble, it's going to make it a lot easier, to attack the basket, because now look how open the floor is. And with Rob Williams on the court too, and Al Horford, it's a lot of size. It's a lot of size. I guess, this is Al Horford, more defensive, the defensive purposes of him on the court was a little bit less important than the offense, when Rob is on the court, at least. when Rob is on the court. I have to preface by saying that. But now look at this. He can't. He could have even threw a lob to Rob here, but it just goes right away. Tobias gets kind of caught in the middle. 2 points again. He's back to cooking. And then the next possession right away again. They run high screen and roll. They don't switch. Embiid drops. Jason decides, you know what? I'm just going to take you one-on-one. Marcus does a really good job of clearing out right away as soon as he sees Tatum is, kind of, he just has a good feel here. He's not 100% certain of what Tatum's doing, but he can kind of see, like he's going to work. So Marcus like, well, I'm just going to clear out regardless of whatever he's going to do. So he clears out. Jalen does a good job of moving over as well and not clouding up the spacing. Marcus tells Jalen to get over, move. And, they get over, so they get the spacing back correct. So now it's basically one-on-one with 4 other people on the other side on the floor. PJ Tucker trying to be strong side help, but with Rob in the dunker spot, that kind of makes it tough. And Jason just goes to work. He's feeling it. When he's feeling it, those step back threes are gonna fall. Beats him. It's hard to see from that angle, but he beats him good with that step back. And boom. And then he made that, and it was like it's gonna. It was like when he made that shot, it's like, is he going for 40 or is he going for 50? That was the exact thought, in my head when that happened. And again, look at this, more high screen and roll with Embiid in the action. PJ Tucker, they tried to make him the primary defender on Jason Tatum, but guess what? You don't have to do that if you just set a screen. Boom, they're looking to get Joel in the action. They have to switch because Rob makes a good job. As soon as Jason can cut off Tucker, as soon as they can get the screen and set it right away, notice Rob is going to take off, and it's not really, it's kind of a legal screen, but it's not really. They haven't called these all playoffs. They don't call them the playoffs really for both teams. So that's not a Celtics advantage. They don't just, you really got to set a clear legal screen here. But Rob makes it, obvious. He's trying to cut to the basket. So it sets the screen and then but what he really does is clear out PJ here. And then now it just lets Tatum go one-on-one with Embiid, even though it's late in the shot clock. He's feeling it. Hand down, man down. Go back again to another possession here. Mouse in the house. Again, Al Horford, the advantage. Now they stick Embiid on Horford this possession. And now forces, it allows things to be opened up. Forces Embiid to make decisions. Do I come off the good 3-point shooter who struggled, but still a good 3-point shooter and made, I think, 2 out of 5 threes in this game, or 2 out of 4 threes? Or do I let them go one-on-one? Lets him go one-on-one. Jalen gets a good shot. Actually, a decent contest from Tobias from the back. Misses. Again, this is all a part of this 28-3 third quarter run, and then we'll stop breaking it down after that because it was irrelevant. But and again, now they decide Sixers, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go into a zone. We're gonna double Tatum here at the top. We're not even gonna let him. So it's not like the Sixers didn't try. They tried to double. They tried double trap with Embiid, right away with Embiid and Melton here. It looks like you have Melton. And the problem with this is they do a good job, again, with the Celtics getting Embiid in the action and then dumping it to Al Horford. Tatum makes a great pass right away. Notice Tatum doesn't even allow them to set up. You notice Joel kind of hinting at, like, you can kind of see it already, and then Joel shows it right away. Once he does this, this is not an aggressive enough double team. You have to be a little bit more aggressive with this double team right away. Your hands are not up as soon as you're making this double team. Hands got to be up. Melton's hands are down. Embiid's hands are down. Maybe this was just Joel deciding he wanted to double this, possibly, based on how Melton was so late to react. And it's not soon enough. Allows Jason to make a clear passing. Allows Jason to make the pass and have a clear passing lane to make that pass to Al. And then he kicks it out to Jalen for not really a wide open 3, but again, for Jalen, it's not really about a contest. It's about if he knows his shot is going to get blocked or not. He knows when he can shoot this. I mean, this is actually a really good contest from Melton here, but he's in rhythm. He was open, saw the rim, and was able to step into the shot without a fear of it being blocked. Bang. And again, they're gonna set really high screen and roll here, and I don't know what the Sixers are doing. This was maybe the biggest defensive miscommunication in the game. This dude's got 35 points right now. It should be your biggest priority. I think they were trying to get into a zone here. Is what I think they were trying to do. They tried to get into zone. It looks like based on where Melton is, he's kind of no man's land, and I think they were trying to get into 2-3, and uh, it, no bueno. No bueno. Melton has got to be up sooner. This is not. This is just. There's so many places I could pinpoint where an error was. I can't even tell you who the exact fault is. This is on everybody. Here, the Sixers' defensive miscommunication. This is not defense to play against a guy who is scorching hot, who is at this point the best player in the world. That day he was. Obviously, he's not the best player in the world, but on that day he was the best. He was the best player in the world. He was scorching hot, and he was someone you could not leave open. And horrible defensive miscommunication. It looks like they're trying to get into a zone here, and Doc was not happy with that. Doc was not happy with that. He's trying everything. Sixers aren't executing on offense, which we'll get into in a minute here, and just no bueno. Again, they try to throw a double. Looks like this is a little bit more aggressive of a double here out of a timeout. I want to sit the much more aggressive double. Melton gets his hands up early. Maxi's still a little late, but Tatum does make a really quick decision here on this double team. As soon as they show up, Melton does a good job getting his hands up, and Maxi at least does a good job invading space. But the problem is with those guards, right? You get guard screen. I think Joe Mazzulla does a really good job of picking up here that they're trying to double Tatum. So they get a guard screen here, and it's not going to really affect Tatum that much if they get a guard screen. And there are small guys. Tatum's 6'8", 6'9", with a big wingspan. You just make the pass over the top. When you throw little guys at him for a double team, it's not going to really affect them. It's not a lot of size and length. Can make this pass pretty easily. Melton does a good job. Marcus gets it to Al Horford for a wide open three-pointer. They just happened to miss the shot here. Really good possession again. Not really a bad shot so far since this run has started for the Celtics. And boom, here late in the shot clock, now they're going full out double team. They're not even waiting for the screen to happen. They're not even letting the screen happen. They're just attacking Tatum off the dribble, trying to get him late in the shot clock. Really good decision here. But again, this is kind of not a great double team. It's a lazy double team. Throw your hands up, go attack him. It's not a great double team here by the Sixers. Kind of poor execution, in my opinion. I don't think it's opinion. I think that's more of a fact, to be honest. Throws it into Horford here. Horford is going to kick it out to a wide open three-point shooter because they're in chaos. When you create chaos, guys are going to be open. Tobias Harris is forced to guard two people. Can't do that. Jaylen Brown is wide open for three. Bang, bang. And that was pretty much the game right there, in my opinion. There was, they could have, it was not really, but in my opinion, it was going to be really hard to get back the game after that. And then here again, another, Joel Embiid on Robert Williams, so they get Joel into the action again. At this point, not one of the better possessions. Rob doesn't really get out of this quick enough to put pressure on Embiid, and Jason decides to put Maxey on his back here, which I'm not sure was the greatest decision because now it allows Joel to be in a good spot to contest here. But I guess he could have thrown a pocket pass here, pocket bounce pass. I guess he could have tried that, but good. Not the greatest decision from Tatum there. And then that allowed Joel to make a better contest on that play, as we saw. And then here was the Brogdon three, which I guess the video is not available for this possession, but that was like the real, like, if the Jalen one wasn't, the Brogdon one was like, okay, this is blowout time now. This is absolutely blowout time. They went up 21 here on this three. The Sixers tried to get back into a zone on this play, and and that looked like they were, calling out, you know, trying to get their guys into spots. And Brogdon, right away, quick in the shot clock, pulls up on a catch and shoot three, hits it. Again, they run Joel into the high score. And I'm telling you, Joel was tired late in that second quarter. You could see it, man. He was trying to get to the free throw line just to stop possessions from happening and slow down possessions and kill the clock so he give him time to rest. Joel was fatigued, man. He was absolutely tired. He was friggin' tired, man. Um, it might have re-aggravated that knee a little bit when he stepped on Smart there. But again, they throw a double team. Jason makes the right pass right away. Quick swing. Good recovery here from Melton. They get an open three, miss it. Good defense, good offense here by the Celtics. Good pass here, miss a layup. I mean, it's pretty simple. Good cut here from Malcolm. Good contest. Looks like kind of blocks it. Not the worst possession in the world here. I think they get another open three here. Joel's off the court at this point. Needed to win. He was a little bit tired. Not the greatest possession in the world. Not much to make of that possession here. And then this was pretty much if the Malcolm shot really wasn't, this was when we went up 25. Good. Look at Derek's off-ball movement. We stress how important off-ball movies. Look where Maxey is. Maxey's caught in no man's land because of all the moving Derek is doing off the ball. Tatum screen. Robert Williams roaming around the dunker spot. Marcus puts pressure on the rim, beats Melton off the dribble thanks to the Tatum screen. A little bit of a late communication here on the play, so it gives time, for Marcus to attack the rim, puts pressure, forces Maxey to come in. Derek keeps moving, gets out to the perimeter for a wide open three. That was pretty much the game at that point. All right, now defensively, trying to make this quick here, but with the one thing. Again, we talked about the adjustments here that Joe Mazzulla made. What exactly? People can talk about adjustments all they want, but you have to quantify it in terms of how it affects each and single every possession. And one thing that the Celtics did a really good job of with Robert Williams is putting him in a spot off the pick and roll to be in weak side help to protect the rim. And then from there, they said, we're going to concede open threes to your role players, especially throughout the series. Not only did it in game 6 at Philadelphia, they were willing to concede those, but it's a much better opportunity in game 7 when it's, a little bit tighter, crowd's louder, going against you, pissing all over you with chants, they hate you, right? It's different. It's different in game 7 on the road. And here, another example, James Harden, right? He's going to go in, sees Robert Williams is there. He's going to step back, take a fadeaway jump shot, airballs it. That was his only possible go-to there, and he was hesitant to shoot that shot all day long. One thing they did well was strip Embiid. I think they stripped Embiid 4 times, maybe 5 times in this game. I think he had like 5 turnovers Embiid. And they're almost all on strips off double teams. Holford does a really good job playing up, gets him into the not quite elbow, but in between the block and the elbow. Almost here, a face up. And, Horford does a really good job of not reaching here. And then they pull in late double team. Joel does not see it. Notice as he's going, Jalen really perfectly times up this double team. He hasn't committed yet. And at this point, Joel should see this. This is when you should see this. And also James should be moving off the ball here. James should be cutting to right here to be available for Joel. Just movement, right? You think about it, you see something move really fast, your eyes are just going to be drawn to it. It's just going to be made presently available. So that's why Jalen is just sneaky enough, I guess, even though he wasn't super sneaky. And then as Joel's going to try to go up, Jalen's going to strip him. I guess Horford strips him technically, but Jalen, you know, was there as well. Good hands by Horford, and they're out running, and amazing block right there by Melton. That was like, oh my God, the Phillies playing unbelievable on both sides. At least they were for a stretch there in the beginning of the game. And here again, really good defense, making it hard on Joel. Notice he gets the ball faced away. He can't go to the face up right away. Notice how Al Horford is going to get into his space here. He's going to get into his space. I'm surprised Joel didn't try this rip through here. But, Al does a really good job of setting up his arm. Not like it's like a small hand check. It's not really a 90s hand check, but does a good job of keeping that small hand check away from the ball. Um, and then from here, forces Embiid to a fadeaway jump shot. Embiid does not want fadeaway jump shots. He wants standstill jump shots, which are more easier to get in the regular season. The playoffs, you got to work a little bit more movement, right? Joel's. This was really when he started to get tired here. You could start to notice it, and notice here James Harden. James Harden. They run the high screener roll. They take it away. Al. They're gonna do late switches here. Al's gonna like say what they did is Al Horford is gonna say, you know what, James, come and take this. I'm not gonna drop back so you can't shoot the three. We're gonna switch for a second, and then I'm gonna drop back, and then I'm gonna take away this pass from Joel. Joel's gonna cut here. I'm gonna take away this pass. You're not gonna get that pass. That was the adjustment the Celtics decided to make with Robert Williams on the floor. And you know what, Rob? No matter where you are, you're going to be our help. And we know they're going to make that pass first. James is going to do it. James does a really good job of making the right pass always, even sometimes when he shouldn't, and he should shoot the ball. But here, Robert Williams, James Harden's like, no, 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 I'm not shooting that for sure. I'm making this pass, and makes it to a wide open three for Tobias Harris, and that's what they were willing to concede. They said, you know what, you're gonna have to beat us with wide open threes. And I don't care what anybody says. Tobias Harris did not have a good game. He kind of shat the bed in this game. He had like I think he was 1 for 7. He had like 19 points, and he was like almost 50%. I think he was 7 to 16. But the dude could not hit a three to save his life. In that third quarter. He just could not. He could not hit a three to save his life in that third. I think he had like 4 or 5 open threes in that third quarter. Could not make one to save his life, and they needed some of those threes, and that was one of the big adjustments. Rob Williams, James Harden cannot get down the lane, cannot get buckets at the rim, and that was an important adjustment. Makes it a lot harder. Give credit for James on that possession, going at him, making something happen. Again, look at this. They're literally saying, you know what, James, you can come and score, right? Horford is going to show early so he can't get the open three, and then Horford's going to come drop back. Marcus is also going to be in a help position too. This isn't great spacing here by the Sixers. Um, so he's going to help prevent a potential pocket pass to Joel. Joel's going to come and cut to his area, or he's actually going to stay at three this time. This time he's going to hold back. And notice Rob come in weak side to help. He's going to throw that pass right away. Tucker is going to get, a potential three opportunity. Marcus is going to do a hard closeout. Now it's scramble for the Celtics. And then Jalen does a really good job, an okay job at least. And Maxey could have shot this right here, actually. But he was a little deep on the perimeter, so he decides, honestly, you got to shoot that if I'm Maxey. I'm not sure you're going to get a better shot that possession. But he feels like Jalen's close enough to where he can pass it. Al Horford's scramble recover. If Joel and three-pointer is what you're getting in the possession, you're going to take that all day over anything else. They happen to get the offensive rebound. Again, another good defensive possession here from Al Horford. just forcing him to work, not allowing him to get to a spot super easily. He's gonna make the shot here, but again, look at the shot clock. Late in the shot clock, making Joel work. Right, he's got the ball and he's working for it like 8 seconds just to get his shot. Um, it take a lot of work. It fatigued him, um, and give him credit. He makes that one, but it was a constant, just fantastic. Um, yeah, defensive job by Al Horford. Here we'll look at a couple more possessions, and then we're not going to do a Heat preview in this one. I might just do this back to back, but we'll do it. We'll do it the Heat, the Celtics preview. Maybe we'll do it. We'll maybe do it tomorrow. Too tired to do it tonight, but we'll do the Heat Celtics preview tomorrow. Just look at a few more defensive possessions. Maybe a few more than a few, but yeah, I mean, again, the right Marcus makes that big shot, good momentum to have. Um, yeah, I'm skipping some of these turnovers here, so I'm sure we're missing some defensive possessions. But again, look, and when Embiid's not decisive, it's a problem. Here they're able to get to this pass. Horford was going to come back anyways, and Robert Williams was kind of stuck, not in a great position here. To come help, because now he's put in the strong side. He's in the strong side position to come over and help on this possession. But Joel's not going to be decisive, and it's going to force him to drain down the shot clock. Right? Doesn't goes 7 in the shot clock. Doesn't see Marcus Smart here because he's thinking about how he's going to get to his spot and get his shot instead of reading the game as it is, which he struggles with a little bit. He struggles with seeing double teams. That was a big part. Marcus gets a really good strip. They credit Horford here? I think Marcus stripped him first. It's a good double team regardless. Um, and Horford has really good hands again. And Horford was just outsmarting Embiid here. Gets him to a fadeaway spot. Your best bet here is to pump fake, but Al doesn't even, he doesn't even contest the shot here. And good hands, left hand, swipes it away. Really good defensive position from Al. Just execution. It's execution there at that point, on simple, small details. Contest and execution of a good contest. Trying to block, executes it well. Again, same thing. Rob's kind of put in a tough position here, but James Harden's got to shoot this. Like, there's no reason you can't. You have to shoot this basketball here. Like, and he was just afraid. Rob Williams is put in a tough position here. Um, it's Embiid, and he's on the same side as Embiid. They want to be weak side, and at that point, you want to be on the weak side of the court from Embiid. It doesn't really make sense, but you get what I'm trying to say. So it's put Rob in a tough position here, and it makes it harder to come contest, these hardened shots and what they want to do. So they decided, we're going to force you into right hand, force you to your right. Or I guess the Sixers might have decided as well they want that, to make it put Robert Williams in a tougher spot. And right-handed, it's harder for James. It's much easier for him to make that left-handed pocket pass on pick and roll. And James, you got to shoot the layup here. Right? Because Al's going to come show the switch early, and then he's going to bait the switch so he can come back and help on the pocket pass to Embiid. And then from that point, you got to shoot this. You got to shoot the shot here, James Harden. You got to shoot it. Doesn't shoot it. Decides to kick it out to an open PJ Tucker for 3. And that's kind of what the Celtics wanted. They said, you know what? It's game 7. The crowd is loud. We're going to force you to make open 3-pointers. We know you're tight. Make them. Again, this is like drain the shot clock, slow paced from the Sixers. This is really not good from the Sixers here. Now at this point, um, Rob Williams can help on the other side of the court. Just poor spacing here from the Sixers. I didn't even see Maxey on the court for a second there. PJ's they like to do a lot of times. PJ knows he's going to suck at spacing, but they're going to draw. Harden's going to get drawn in, wants to get drawn in, so PJ can set a screen here. But Maxey, like PJ's like he's got to go out of bounds for Christ's sake, and it's going to be like late on the shot clock by the time he gets it. It would be like 5 seconds on the shot clock by the time he gets a pass here. You got to set this earlier if you're going to do this. And here you can see Robert Williams can help on Harden. Harden sees the shot clock's at 8. He can't wait for whatever the heck PJ Tucker is going to do here in the corner. Maxey's actually kind of going to get freed open, but James got to make a decision early, so he's going to throw a tough skip pass where he's not going to be able to throw this in a pocket for a catch and shoot because Tatum Horford's length gives Tatum time to get there. Tobias Harris forced to a tough shot and misses it. Hart. Here they fully switch. They get Tatum and Horford here on the screen and roll, and they're going to fully switch here. And Harden is going to get, go to work here and get his step back three, his bread and butter. He's going to hit the shot. Give him credit. It's a tough shot, but makes it. Here again, slow paced after something here. I think Tatum missed one free throw and then hit the second one. Whatever. He hit a free throw. They're going to try to run Maxey screen and roll here. Jason does a really good job of fighting over the screen. Kind of a lazy screen and fade here from Joel Embiid, especially because he's Horford. No one's really going to be trying to run out to Embiid right away at the perimeter. He's not Steph Curry. He's not Klay Thompson. They don't need to get out to him. Or Game 7 Jason Tatum, I guess. And so Jason Tatum's going to run over the screen. He's going to fight over the screen, get to Maxey here late in the shot clock. Some really good one-on-one individual defense on Maxey. Maxey's playing around with the ball a little bit. Jason pokes away from him. Not great spacing. Maxey kind of looks around instead of running to a spot right away. And Marcus Smart can guard two guys now at this point. I guess Joel could probably get a thrown this pass here, but Marcus kind of waiting for it. Joel is going to throw up a shot. 24-second shot clock violation. Poor job of pace by the Sixers, not pushing the ball up the court, and then good job by the Celtics of making them pay for that. Here, Harden's going to be quick and decisive here, but again, gets down ill. At this point, there's no Robert Williams in the game, but there's been a Robert Williams in the game on all these drives. So he's not even going to shoot this basketball here, as he just sees Celtics converge in the paint, and he's going to assume, I guess, that he's going to make the right read here. Throws it out to Tobias Harris to Marcus Smart. Is a good spot where he can help on James, but also get back to Tobias Harris for a contest. Tobias knows he just missed a shot, so he's not really looking to shoot here. And then he's like, you know what? Now I'm really wide open, so I guess I can take this. But again, tight. Doesn't shoot this with supreme confidence. Kind of shoots it like he's trying to guide it in a little bit. Not saying like his shot mechanics were like completely off or something, but there's mentally, you can kind of just see it on a shot. How quickly, how decisive they are to want to take the shot a lot of times. And at least I feel like I have a good eye for some of that stuff. At least personally, I feel like that's what separates me from a lot of people who break down basketball. Is I can mentally relate. Playing the game a lot of my life. I can relate, maybe not at the highest levels, but I can relate in terms of being in rhythm and taking shots, etc. Balance. And here this was more of a I want this to go in versus I know what's going in kind of shot. Small detail, not super important, but I love breaking down I love breaking down every little detail. What can I say? Here again, a little bit, but not super decisive. But Embiid doesn't make more decisive move than he has most of the game. Goes right at Al Horford here. He's going to turn, spin, um, trying to draw the foul here. Al's hands are in really good position. His hand is up already before Embiid can try to draw that foul. Embiid says, okay. Could have tried to go up there and try to draw a foul, but he decides to turn back around, try to get a fadeaway over him. Just an amazing contest by Horford there. He read it like a book, and it was not an easy book to read, but he does. He gets the contest, and he gets the block shot. Amazing individual defense by Al Horford. Got the rebound. Harris, pokes it away. Celtics ball. Again, throwing bodies at James Harden. No Rob Williams on the court, but still here they try to run the Joel high screen roll. And at this point, Harden knows the coverage they're doing, so he says, I'm not even going to let that happen. Tatum's going to help here um, on Harden so he can't go downhill. And they're conceding. They're using Tatum like Robert Williams here, except more he's in the wing position here. And they're saying they're going to concede a wide open Melton three, and they're okay with that. And Jalen's going to, that's kind of poor spacing again from the Sixers. So Jalen Brown can help right off that, and Jason can recover to Tobias right away. And also, he can recover to Tobias, but also prevent Melton from being able to attack the basket. So he gets Jalen off his feet. It's a good pump fake, gets an open three. But again, that's the shots they were willing to give up. That's the shots they were willing to give up. That was their game plan, and they executed it. I think it was kind of slow. I think they had a pass that kind of got deflected here. Um, they had a deflection, and it was late in the shot clock, so they forced him, to another tough shot here. Simple as that. Not great pace by the Sixers. Celtics taking advantage of it. Force a deflection out of bounds. Now you're forcing, into a shot they don't really want to take. Simple as that. Simple as that. Forget how they got in here, but they decided to run a double here at Maxi. Makes him pass. Maxi throws his pass. It's hard to get an angle for Maxi to throw this pass so that House can. House was thinking about cutting to the hoop, but Maxi throws this, and I think only can throw this at an angle where House can catch this from beyond the arc because of Maxi being shorter and then the Celtics' length. Couldn't exactly cut to the hoop unless he throws a lob up. And from that point, Marcus Smart can maybe recover. Al Horford recovers here, forces it's a really good closeout by Al Horford. Gets back into a good defensive guarding position, forces a tough contest on House. House is not a super skilled player. I'm just trying to get an energy boost here at this point. Doc is another good defensive possession here at this point. James Harden, dude, gotta shoot the basketball. If Rob Williams is not on the court for this, especially, Al Horford recovers, takes away the Joel Embiid pick and pop pass. Malcolm is really caught in no man's land. Not really a good recovery here on the screen from Malcolm. And so James Harden, shoot the basketball, dude. Marcus kind of throws his hands in there. Draw the foul. That's what you're good at. You could probably get a drove foul there at this point, but he's not drawn any fouls yet because they haven't called it at this point in the series because he's picked the wrong spots to do it, foul baited, and hasn't got the call. So he's probably thinking, man, I'm not going to get the call if I do that. But you just got to take a layup, dude. You just got to take a layup. Jason Tatum is there for weak side. Rim protection. He decides, you know what, I'm not going to try to attack Jason Tatum as a rim protector. So I guess you could give credit to Jason Tatum for being a good defender and being a good rim protector for his position. But he's not an elite rim protector like Robert Williams is. If you really want it, you got to go at it here. Decides to make it's a fine read, but again, he throws, and it's not a perfect pass here. Celtics have length, so he decides to make this pass here. the house. It's not in the shooting pocket. Gives more time for Jason to recover here on a contest. Still an open three, but misses it. Gets another shot for an open three, bricks it again. That was the Celtics game plan. That's how they won this game. They won this game taking advantage of the 76ers not having premier shooting when it was needed the most. They needed to make open shots. They didn't. Unless you can say all you want about the shot quality stuff. Shot quality does not care. Um, yeah, the game, or I should phrase it as the game does not care about shot quality. It cares about whether or not it goes in or not, and that's what mattered most. And if you don't have the personnel to do it, then what does shot quality matter at that point? So a good job by the Celtics of executing their game plan, and Jason Tatum going off really made it difficult for the Sixers because they tried multiple different, I mean, several different coverages on Jason Tatum specifically, like 4 or 5 different coverages at least throughout the game. They tried to between a zone, trap double, double before the screen and roll. Um, just regular straight up pick and roll defense. Um, drop drop on the pick and roll, you know, I mean, switch on a pick and roll. I mean, they threw a lot of stuff at him, and he was, still able to take advantage of them. And it was just really an unbelievable game by Jason Tatum. An unbelievable game by Jason Tatum. I guess I could have done a Jason Tatum breakdown. That probably would have got more views, and because it would have been shorter and got more attention. But we broke down, what Tatum took advantage of. It was Joel Embiid on the perimeter. That's what he took advantage of. This is kind of how he got half of his points. He got 24 points from that. So it was a great job by the Celtics, again, of executing their game plan. The crowd was into it, and it helped them take advantage of this game. Just beautiful execution all around. And I guess where this game could have gone haywire is if the 76ers made open shots. But again, you have to consider it's game 7. Crowd is loud. Um, it is different feel. It's a different energy, different vibe. And if you don't get those shots, if you don't get those shots falling, a lot of times in game 7, there's not really an in between for your role players. It's either everybody's just going to make them or everybody's just going to miss them. And there's times where I guess it can be in between, but a lot of times it's not. And there was no in between in this game. It was they missed them, and it wasn't just their role players; it was their star players. In a game where you need your star players to step up, they didn't. They didn't. That was the 76ers' best shot to at least stay in this game, and they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it. Al Horford's individual defense was good enough on whatever 85% Joel Embiid was, and I think being in a 7-game series, the fatigue wore down. Not being conditioned for the 8 days he was out or whatever, and then being thrown back into the fire. 7-game series, drawn out, a lot of tough games, not a ton of blowouts. I guess there was a few blowouts. I guess a couple blowouts, but for the most part, a lot of tough, long drawn out games. Re-aggravated the knee injury again in the second quarter, just a little bit, probably not super. So at that point, maybe like 75%, 80%, but still, it's no excuses. If you're on the court, you gotta do your best to win, and it wasn't their best. So Celtics are not going to be in Eastern Conference Finals, and I will do a breakdown video of a preview of some of the regular season stuff. The problem with a lot of that stuff is it is not going to be the same. The Celtics, the Heat have different players. The Celtics, are a little bit different at this point. Not super different, but I think the Heat, the Celtics were missing players in some of these games. The Heat were missing Jimmy Butler in one of the games. It's a lot of different stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to take, from a lot of these games, but I will try to cook up something in terms of what the Heat are going to try to throw at the Celtics, and maybe we'll break down some Heat playoff basketball versus the Knicks rather than try to break down regular season basketball, Celtics Heat, and we'll take a look at that. But all right, that's all I got. Um, I will hopefully. I should post. I'm confident I will have something out. Won't be a live stream probably, but a at least a breakdown video to give a little preview before the game tomorrow night at 8:30. So yeah. All right. Thanks everybody.